Time is fleeting, not very much longer.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
And best friends, Teri Gamble
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and sub-subgenres,
classic and cult,
international
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up Horror Movie Survival Guide tips
to help you stay alive. Oh my God, this movie is so good.
I'm going to lose control. We love us some Rocky Horror Picture Show over here at Horror Movie Survival Guide, and I had always wanted to make a horror movie documentary, but I am glad that this one was made, because this one would be far beyond anything that I could ever do, right? This is Linus O'Brien's incredible documentary featuring a lot of stuff about his dad and the show and how it really came together.
It's definitive. It's if you are a fan of Rocky, which I know a lot of our friends and fans are, this movie is for you. It's a love letter to the creative process. It's a love letter to family, chosen family, and your created family. It's really, really beautiful. I was really, really impressed by the breadth of all the, from the genesis of the show to like Richard O'Brien's upbringing. You get a little bit of like the whole journey, as it says, the strange journey, the whole journey of like how it came to be. And I really love, I think a lot of people get hung up, and I think we had a conversation recently with some of our queer horror friends about this, about how people are like, why is so-and-so making this thing and they're not queer? I'm like, you don't know where they're at in their journey, because sometimes you'll reveal yourself to yourself through your creative process. You learn about yourself. The amount of my friends who played characters that were different genders than they normally present, that eventually come out playing role play games, D&D and things like that. I've seen so many times that I know that happens sometimes. And this is a similar, sounds like, tale in creating this show, that Richard O'Brien was expressing a real piece of himself that he felt he couldn't express outwardly elsewhere, that he figured out, I think, while making this show, which is just the coolest thing on the planet.
Yeah, just to hear it coming from his own mouth and how it came from him, and how it grew from the stage play into the film, and how the film didn't do very well. And so they all felt like it failed, and it kind of like left a sour taste in their mouth. But then it turned out to be this, has been running since 1975, nonstop, continuously, forever. And
that's 50-year phenomenon. That's incredible. Like, to have something that you thought was a failure. And I think that that's a testament to, like, I'm going to cry again. I cried through half this movie. It's really, like I said, about the creative process just in general. It's really beautiful. That the thing you think is your weakness, or the thing you think was too personal or was too much for someone is going to connect with. And that's the thing that's going to save them and pull them through their life. Like, the amount of people that spoke about how this movie has saved them, how it created them, gave them family, how it gave them an outlet, how they found community, is incredible. So sometimes you think you're doing this little thing, and it's actually, you're building something that you don't know the legacy it's going to have. You don't know who it's going to affect. So keep making that art that scares you, I think, is the lesson I have.
Yeah, and I love. I wrote a whole piece about it for Talkhouse about Rocky Horror Picture Show and how much it affected me, because I saw it for the first time at midnight at 12, and it really rocked my world. It one in the like men in fishnets. Oh, I love this man, even though he's an alien kind of way, like pansexuality, deliciousness. But then it's also the like, a movie you can interact with. You can be part of this. You interact with this film and it becomes something personal. And I think that for me, the bit that was the most interesting, the most touching, is at the very end, they asked Richard O'Brien, like, what do you think life, like, what would the world be like if Rocky Horror never existed? And just that, I was like, oh my God, that world would be so much less colorful. But by him, he's one man, he can't see all of it, right? So he's just like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't.
And as he says, it's for the people now. Like someone told him, they're like, it doesn't even belong to you anymore, dude. Like, you made this thing, but now it's morphed because someone else has taken it and they see it through their eyes and they have a whole nother interaction with it. So it's literally a living document, even though that piece of it is frozen in time. It's still alive because people are still interacting with it differently. There's different call outs around the world that people have different words they say to the film, right?
Yeah.
I really got into it, not seeing the movie as much, but I went and saw a bunch of times when David Arquette was playing Frank-n-furter at the Tiffany, which in the movie, I didn't realize it had played there as the movie first years before. And they
So
did the
cool.
stage show of it in the same space. I was like, oh my God, because I remember Richard being there. I remember meeting him when it was playing there. And
Wow.
so I know, right? What a time. And so I fell in love with the guy playing Eddie, like the whole thing. Like I'm a big Columbia girl. Like that's like my vibe when I dress up and go to the show. But getting to interact and see that the life of it going back and forth. Do you know what I mean? That between the live stage, between the interaction that people have, at the iterations, I find that fascinating just as much too. Of like all these weirdos that keep finding the show,
Mm-hmm.
keep creating it in different ways, and I'm so fascinated and in love with that. And I love live theater, as you know, we both do. That's why we fell in love with each other, was
Yeah.
through live theater and our connection on that. So to see that it's something that it's cinema that's theater,
Yeah.
but it's also
It's
theater
the
that's cinema.
it's
Hmm.
the things, you know, all the things we love together in one delicious package. And so, you know, the fact that it was the film that had never stopped playing made me so happy. And one of the things in the pandemic that made me very sad was like, it's Rocky Horror stopped. Like it's been playing for so long and now it stopped. But when I was in October, last October, I was in Boston, and someone told me that there was a projectionist in Boston who ran it every Saturday night at midnight throughout the entire pandemic to no one, just so it would keep running. And I was like, making me cry. That's what I
Projectionist
want.
to save the world, projectionist
Yeah.
saving the world and saving cinema. And they're the archivist, right, of the world. I feel like it's like, you know, we're in some weird episode of Twilight Zone sometimes, but it's like that's the projectionists are the ones that are saving, you know,
Yeah.
these pieces of history that I think are so important and have been so seminal for people discovering themselves. Like I said, building community and just, you know, making the world a more rose colored world. Rose tint my world. Right?
Yep. So we love you, Rocky Horror, and go see it if you haven't seen it in a crowd with that's the whole thing at midnight. It's probably playing in your town somewhere at Saturday.
And check
Go.
out Strange Journey, the Rocky
Yeah.
Horror Show, the Rocky Horror, you know, documentary that Linus O'Brien he just did a beautiful job. So congrats to him. Congrats, Linus. Thank you. Come talk to us when you get a chance. And yeah. Anything else, Julia?
Don't dream it, be it.
Don't dream it, be it. Yes, don't dream it. Be it, kids. We got it. That's right. Thanks so much. Have a beautiful week.
In 1964, I got on a boat to England. England was monochromatic until 1967, and suddenly England became Technicolor. I got into Jesus Christ Superstar. The director was Jim Sharman. I said to Jim that I'm writing a little musical myself.
I said, I hope it's not religious. And of course, it's the only one that ended up with its own cult.
We opened and it was a phenomenal success.
We created immersive theatre.
People were rushing to get in and see it. This was something alive.
We were allowed to make a movie.
We just worked our asses off.
There was something about not having money. It added to the edginess of it.
And then the movie flopped. It just didn't make any sense.
Tim Deegan suggested, why don't we run the film at midnight? I said, how's it doing? He said, what's interesting? It's the same 50 people every week.
This crowd is lining up for a film about transvestites.
Every theater where it plays becomes something like a nightclub.
There was energy in the air.
It was a trip. People were throwing rice, and it was like we were in a wedding party.
We're spreading to the other theaters in other cities. It's steamrolled.
Rocky allowed you that freedom to live out your dreams.
This was like a pop-up book of rock and roll and sex and drugs and the power of that.
I think the movie's about saying yes to life and to everything.
It has to be considered the major cult movie of all time.
It's not a movie, it's a way of life.